What's going on, everyone? Jim here from the Quartering, and we've been covering a lot of the kind of the fast food apocalypse that's been going on across this country, which is really the culmination of greed, corporate greed. That's obviously a thing. We talked about, hey, McDonald's made $14.5 billion last year. It could have maybe made 12 billion and kept the quarter pounders under $5. Inflation, which is obviously well documented. We're talking about, I think I have a different video today talking about how the return of $10 per gallon gas is out there. Um, and then, of course, post lockdown logistics, supply chain, and the pretending that, they can't get products, plus rising labor costs. So we see states like California where the minimum wage becomes $20 at a fast food joint. Obviously, what that's going to do to the prices. Any idiot knows that, except for, I suppose, communists. But kind of in a new twist, obviously we have first down goes Pizza Hut. I don't know if you knew that Pizza Hut even still existed. I think there's only one around me. There used to be dozens. But it used to be the spot, man. They used to have the pizza buffet. They would have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade machine. They had a salad bar that nobody ever really wanted to touch. And it used to be actually a family spot, at least maybe for, white bread, Midwestern families. But now abruptly shuttering 15 restaurants with 129 likely to follow. So now over 100 stores after huge bust up with major franchisee. Almost 150 Pizza Huts are set to close due to an ongoing financial dispute with one of its major franchises. So for people that don't know, a lot of these restaurants, McDonald's included, for example, are owned by franchisees. So McDonald's figured out a while ago that all they had to do was sell the recipe and the name, and then they could just carry no liability, and then they could just sell people the McDonald's name, and then you would open it up and you'd be paying franchise fees to McDonald's. It's a great model. Friday night saw the abrupt shuttering of 15 locations in Indiana and left staff and customers stunned. Daily Mail can reveal a further 129 across Illinois, Georgia, South Carolina, and Wisconsin are now on the brink of shutting down as part of the dispute. EYM Group, which operates 144 Pizza Huts across 5 states, is being sued by the chain in relations to millions of dollars in unpaid bills. When a deadline passed for the Indiana restaurants last week, they were quickly closed. The same will happen to the remaining 130 in the coming weeks. EYM is blaming Pizza Hut specifically for the financial problems. It says that sales have been badly hit by the pizza chain not modernizing its menus or app to keep up with rivals like Domino's and Little Caesars. I can tell you, as a mid-grade pizza chain connoisseur, like, I know I see you in the comments like, I go to this pizza place that's 175 years old and it's ran by a guy named Giuseppe, and those don't really exist where I live. Most people, 90% of people, eat pizza from one of 3 or 4 places, and that's Toppers, Pizza Hut, Domino's, and Papa John's. That's it. There are small, like, local pizza chains, but the pizza's so expensive from there. There's one that's by my old house. Pizza was like $25, and I could go to Domino's and get a large pizza for $5.99. It was just a matter of, like, hey, there wasn't enough upside. So this is a big deal. The pizza industry has been pretty roughly hit by inflation, cost of goods going up, of course. The Pizza Hut boss is showing they were not bluffing, an insider told DailyMail.com. Next up, South Carolina with a June 27th deadline, and then Illinois, Georgia, and Wisconsin. Now, in August, Pizza Hut offered a forbearance so that its franchisee could pay off some of the money owed. But on March 15th, EYM sued Pizza Hut, alleging breach of contract, saying that the fast food chain was violating terms of the agreement. I mean, all of this essentially, accentuates the fact that they aren't selling enough pizza. They aren't making enough money, and so, things are rough. Things are bad. And I guess I'm not surprised to see that or hear that. I mean, it's just, that's the way it is literally everywhere. The court documents show that the franchise failed to pay Pizza Hut millions of dollars. It initially defaulted on a $3 million loan back in 2022, and then another $2.6 million in 2023. Pizza Hut, owned by Yum Brands, operates several franchises. Of course, there's like I think KFC is a Yum brand, and there's a lot of other ones. But it's tough to ignore the reality. You can see, Mike Cernovich putting together a tweet thread saying it gets worse. In 1999, I had a part-time job that paid $8.50 an hour. You could grab lunch for less than a half hour's work. And that's how you know when people have been, an hourly employee, because that's exactly how I look at things. You've noticed, like, I'll explain things in my videos where it's like, oh, I have to work 3 hours to buy Five Guys burgers and fries for my family because I worked hourly for a long time in my life. And that's how you think about things. It's like, do I want this video game? I have to work at Walmart for 23 hours to be able to afford it. Maybe I don't want that. So he goes on to say, if you're a poor kid with a part-time job, pizza delivery, working at Walmart, you could still get fast food. No sticker shock at all. It was totally normal and expected to get Dairy Queen, Taco Bell, etc. on lunch. It's true. You can see, like, you could grab lunch for less than a half hour's work. We had a lost purchasing power at such levels. It's incomprehensible to people under 25. This is responding to a Wall Street Silver tweet. Never forget what they took from us. A perfectly preserved Taco Bell receipt from 1999 found in a library book, an incredible archaeological find. Now, what's interesting is this is not 1909. This is 1999. It wasn't that long ago. And you can see every item they purchased was under $1. A taco, 69 cents. Nacho, 69 cents. Burrito, 99 cents. Pepsi. So the whole meal was $3.50. Now, granted, a single taco, and whatever, it's not a huge amount of food. But that's the thing. It all started before Biden. It started before Biden, but it's been going on for decades. They manipulate inflation CPI data to underreport what's actually happened, which they do. And then suddenly, like a week later or a month later, they'll say, oh, we had to adjust. We adjusted for this, that, or the other thing. That's just, then it's in the paper for a day, and then the headlines change a week later. It's true. And you can look at this even, again, how do you feel as a customer when you read this? California fast food managers rake in massive raises despite restaurants hiking prices and closing stores over $20 minimum wage. Managers at California fast food restaurants have quietly raked in massive raises. Despite major chains hiking prices and some shutting down locations after the state passed their $20 minimum wage, the pay bump from workers from $16 an hour has garnered much of the attention. I mean, that's $8,000 a year, a raise. A separate provision that has received less notice since the controversial law went into effect April 1st, it boosted pay for managers at quick service restaurants by 25% to at least $83,000 a year. You could be a manager at McDonald's and you're making $83,000 a year. At the fast food chicken chain Raising Cane's, general managers in the state now see an annual pay of $174,000. So I just don't want to hear about economy from a lot of these companies. You're paying a manager at a fast food restaurant. No disrespect, okay? Because I'm not saying the job is easy, but $200,000 a year? I mean, when I was young, managers at McDonald's were like the oldest kid that worked there. They were like 18 years old in a day. They were still some pimply-faced person that had worked their way up from the drive-thru window. And like, again, I don't want to, I don't want to like be mad at people for making their money. I mean, go ahead, get your money. Okay, that's fine. If you're a manager at Raising Cane's and you're making this kind of money, like, all I can say is please be smart with it and save it, because you won't have a job for very long. These places cannot afford to have top line employee costs of $1 million a year. And then eventually, what are they going to do? They raise the price of their chicken. They raise the price of their burgers. And then what happens? Customers stop going. And then what happens? Well, corporations or the corporate says, dang, we're paying $500,000 a year just in salary to this location. Let's cut the staff in half. And then what happens? See, we all know what happens, right? The service goes down, food quality goes down, people stop going. It creates a feedback loop of negativity that leads to the location closing. So make your money. Like, I'm not dunking on you for that. Earn every penny of it, but just be smart with it, because there is a long-term effect, a long-tail effect to these extremely high wages and the unwillingness of corporations to make less money. I want to put that out there. It's not the fault of the employee who makes 200 grand a year serving chicken. It's the fault that the company itself is going to say, well, in order to offset that cost, we have to pass 120% of that on to customers. So the corporations will end up destroying their own companies. That's how this works, right? You're paying 200 grand a year to McDonald's managers. What do you think's going to happen? They have a good life. They worked hard. Maybe they earned it, right? But people are going to stop coming because somebody's got to pay for that. And we know the corporations aren't going to make less money. I'm having like a leftist moment here. In the 8 weeks spanning April to May, foot traffic at Burger King was down 4%. Wendy's was down 3%. McDonald's down 2%. Rubio's Coastal Grill was forced to shutter dozens of locations around California. The company filed for Chapter 11. 150 Red Lobster locations closed down. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It's an intentionally vicious cycle. Mandate the wage increases, salary expenses go up, profits go down, forcing higher prices. Higher prices cause less visits, reducing profits again, causing layoffs. Higher unemployment further reduces visits, revenues, profits go down. This is exactly what I said. Everybody knows I'm not like an economic genius. Everybody knows how this ends, and it's just not good for the fast food industry. And a lot of people that work there are getting a temporary boon. And I think, hey, make your money, honey, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But what I will say is, like, please be smart with it, because you're not, I guarantee McDonald's managers aren't going to make 200 grand a year next year. I just guarantee it. I mean, there's just no shot. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do follow or subscribe down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.